Shadow Talk Unfiltered, where we strip back the noise and get real about the stories that shape what we believe. Today, we're joined by Brandon Kroll from doing our Conspiracy Theories 101. He's going to teach us all about what we should know and what we should be worried about. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure there's numerous layers that we're going to go deep into. We've got a raw, open look of how ideas spread, why people question the official story, and where the truth might actually sit somewhere in the middle. From secret societies to government cover-ups, nothing's off the table. And if you're ready to think critically and challenge the narrative, stay tuned, because this one is going super deep. Well, it's going deep down to Connecticut, or up to Connecticut, depending on where you're living. So, Brandon, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us and our members. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm super stoked that we made this happen. Yay, us.
Yes.
Likewise. I think this is the second host that it's been in the Down Under categories.
Ooh. Oh,
so,
well,
very
nice.
exotic, as they say.
Yeah, exotic. Everything wants to kill you.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, yeah, exotic with koala bears.
I know. I was like, when I found out that that's the noise they use for the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, that just like blew me away. I was like, okay. And I just thought they were just cuddly little bears. Nope, yeah. I'm told they're very barbs-like feeling when you try to pet them. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And you know what? They have human fingerprints.
Oh, really?
You know that? Yeah, crazy. So there was this whole story of this koala bear. This robbery happened, or this incident happened, and this koala bear's like running around, like dropping like fingerprints all over the show. So the cops are like, "Oh my god, we've got a perpetrator, and we've got fingerprints, and da 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 da." And then like a zoologist was like, "Koala bear."
Wow! Imagine that one for a lineup.
Oh, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah,
he just carrying around a koala bear going, touch the window. Yeah. Little shitheads. That's something that
they'll know it's you.
Damn it, I've just put it online. They'll all know. Far out, man. The world is a crazy, crazy place, Brandon, and you are deep into, I don't know, conspiracies, the occult, symbology, all of the above. Can maybe set the preface for us, like, where did this come from? How the hell did you get into this space? Because I'm sure when you were growing up, you weren't like, everything's a lie. NASA's a lie. The moon's a lie. Just everything, like a 9-year-old, or maybe you were.
Well, that's kind of the funny story. Is I was adopted, and I've told this to several individuals before, but I used to be very big into like reading National Geographic. My birth mother would send that to me, a copy, and in those magazines they would send in like 6. They'd send in about 6 cards with like animal quizzes, and I would collect them, and I had over like 100 something, and then I wrapped it up with a rubber band. We'd go up to visit her, and I remember my dad. They were quizzing me. My mom was asking me questions about it, and it was true or false about said animals, and I was getting like about 20 in a row, like correct. There's again 5 questions per animal, and my dad's like, "Oh, you think you're so smart because you know all the freaking answers? I bet you know." Sorry, I was asking them, and they didn't know it. But then my mom changed it. And she started asking me, and he was kind of upset that I did know all the answers. So yeah, and that has been kind of my thing, where it's like when I was 13 to 14, I was reading a dictionary before bed every night.
Oh wow!
Yeah, nerd, straight up. I know. So I've always had a little bit of an open idea for like cryptids. I know that like History Channel, of course, there are people playing those classical things, interrupt, and at the end of the show, you're kind of like, yeah, I knew you weren't going to find them, because obviously if that was the thing, they'd be all over the news, and But I always have the healthy mindset of saying, you know what, there could be something out there that we really don't know, and I'm always open to saying, yeah, I'm not going to say every story's fake, but I think we should be open for consideration when people tell us stuff, and I think honestly, how I got into this from the spiritual perspective is I came back from a school down in Florida. I came up here, and I stumbled onto an article that was talking about aliens. And or I was reading under the video reel, whatever it was. and a lady wrote the name of Dr. Michael Heiser. And so I went in and read about that, fallen angels, and talking about how they came down on Mount Hermon and had affairs with daughters of women. And basically that led one thing to another, and I kind of came to my own conclusion of, going my own path of piecing things together, as it were.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that you I love the way that you put that, it's not about telling people what the answer is. It's about them finding it themselves and researching and doing their own studies so that you can always have your paradigm shifted. And that's what happens to us, Jules. Every time we interview someone or every time we kind of do another deep dive, we're like, oh shit, massive shift. Oh,
yeah, we learn something new. It's quite funny. I was the same as you. I was literally brought up with all the National Geographic, all the folders. We used to be able to get one every month. And so like I would build up these folders and learn all about animals all over the world. So that's really funny that you say that, had all the cards, had all the folders and the pictures, and same thing. So it was
Ranger Rick?
Sorry?
We Ranger Ricks too?
Into Rex?
Ranger Rick, the magazine. With the raccoon?
No, we didn't have that.
Oh, okay.
No, we didn't have that here. Yeah. No, we
there was like no kids stuff, and no like teenage stuff. It was only National Geographic or like really high level documentation and that sort of stuff.
Except Disney, we did have, and I hated Disney.
Oh yeah. In New Zealand we had a magazine or a newspaper called The Truth, which was quite possibly the best publication New Zealand's ever put out. And it was like, an alien got my wife pregnant and now we're having quadruplets or, something like that. It was amazing.
Or I'm having puppies with a werewolf.
Yeah.
What?
It's the best. It was such a good magazine, or like newspaper, I think it was.
Yeah, wow. We did actually try and track those down because they would be amazing. They're so funny, the stories that used to come out.
My dad still has like original copies of them and stuff because he collected all the National Geographic. So I've already said to him, on your deathbed, mate, they're coming to me because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of just books stacked and stacked and stacked. And I'm pretty sure the New Zealand Truth newspaper is in there because they were so good.
Oh, they
went into folklore and the paranormal, and you got a lot of like in New Zealand, you got like Juliet and I both grew up in New Zealand, and so there's a lot of that kind of indigenous cultural folklore and those sort of stories wrapped around everything else. And that's something that we love, but it's so interesting to go back into the old newspaper articles and read about it from a, a nice colonializer, perspective,
Well, that's the beauty of some of those things. I like with the folklore. A lot of people don't seem to realize is that I think that's kind of what the podcasters have become. Honestly, they're the sages, the priests, and the folklore category now, and it's coming to the forefront, especially with the YouTube format. A couple of cryptid individuals that I listen to, and it's just some of them are really good. I think one time is Wartime Stories,
sure.
And I just sit back and you're trying to go to sleep and you're over here like I can't go to sleep because this is actually really really good. It's like a potato chip. I can't stop. And then it's just you hear one story and then you start speculating and you're over here like I wonder if that's what this person saw. They weren't really realizing it at the time.
Yeah.
How many times people don't want to talk about it because what's everybody going to say if I come forward with something like this?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate those stories because it's like I think we've all kind of. What was it I was reading? I think it's 1 out of every 5 people pass a murder every single day.
Wow.
Now think about that. Again, allegedly, I'm not sure how true that is. But like again, imagine driving around and you just passed an apartment, somebody just killed somebody on the 3rd floor or whatever, or somebody's laying in the alley and nobody knows until about. I'm just saying. So let's say the average person does pass that. How do you not know that you're not passing a cryptid or some sort of creature of the unknown, shadow in the night, and you're just over here thinking it was an average animal? But there's those one or two stories where somebody's like, I focused a little bit more, and it wasn't what I thought it was. I mean, that's what most of these stories are. It's like I kind of fixated a little bit more, and it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah. And then it stood up, and then it glared at me, and then it growled at me, and then you're like, oh.
And then it has red eyes, or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So where's your happy place now, as far as like what sort of category do you like to sit into, or do you kind of like cross over all of them, or you're like? dip your toes.
I'm kind of like a scattergun blast because I'm having this particular theory of the origins of money and how that connects with crypto and cryptids.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hit us with your
Again,
theory.
it's just a theory, but the more I look into it, the more I'm kind of going, I think there's a little bit something here. So I kind of would have to say it's more of like a blunderbuss or shotgun blast of how I view this stuff, is that it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's kind of having the open mind of saying, you know what, could be wrong, but at the end of the day, I can entertain it as a possibility.
Yeah.
So that's what we do as well. It's so difficult, right? Because it's all connected and you can't segregate it out and say, oh, there's no interconnection there. And this is what gets me with the Bigfoot TV shows and that sort of stuff, and scientists that are like, no, it's just a biological creature. And it's like, there's so many different connections through this, and all you have to do is look back into the indigenous lore of the culture that's there, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to know. And so we created this thing called the cosmic framework, which essentially is this Venn diagram to help us kind of navigate those parameters and make sure that we are going, oh yeah, and there is a connection here, oh, there is a connection here, like a visual kind of aid to that. So hit us with your theory. Do you want to hit us with your theory, or is this like your theory and work?
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, but for me it was like, are you familiar with the archons?
Archons?
Titans, Nephilim.
Oh yes, Nephilim, yeah.
But again, I take some things like maybe it's a little bit of this, maybe a little bit of that. I'm just kind of honing in, saying, all right, there's aspects here of multiple paradigms. Allegedly, they had faces of beasts, so put a little pin on that. And the archons were supposed to keep mankind trapped in a material realm. They didn't want them to focus on things above, like in a celestial sense.
Yeah.
So I was going, okay, and if they did look into the celestial sense, they would look to like the star of Remphan, as above, so below is what that represents, or the 666. The pentagram, 5-pointed star, sigil of Ashtaroth is actually what it's called. And I was like, Ashtaroth's in the Bible, okay, red star, maybe there's something there. And again, I was noticing as well in the Israelite culture, they would have the angels were known as star walkers. And that was originally actually the kind of the name concept for Luke Skywalker, but they just changed it a little bit because star sounded a little bit too meh. So they changed that. But it was making me, okay, this is all very interesting. So if these angels came down, had affairs with women, and then they created the giants, my thought process is that the giants in turn started creating cryptids, mixing DNA, maybe actually mating, so on and so forth. And I think this is the reason why you would have the flood. Now, I think this would get rid of a lot of them, but as we hear in a lot of stories, especially around your guys' area with the Philippines and the underground cavern system of caves they got across the islands, I think there's something there where they locked up the vaults and they, sealed up things until things cooled down. My personal theory of how they possibly survived, a couple other variations, I'm sure. But we always hear about cryptids in caves, right? Constantly cryptids in caves. So I think, again, there's a little something there. So this started making me wonder, the oceans. Where did the salt come from for the ocean? I have a hunch, because it's possible that some of these giants, they were part stone because of the angels and whatever. And if they're part stone, that means they would have, sort of sunlight
in the body.
Yeah. And so if they disintegrate, where's all that going to go? Because again, we have these images of these frozen mountain
I know.
faces.
Hasn't it?
So
Yeah. And literally, like Lisa and I were saying, we grew up in the bush, and we used to go walking all over the place. And I look back now going, we always had certain areas where we were like, oh, that rock is like a face. And then we had, believe it or not, we had Big Dick, which everybody knew, which is like really bizarre, but everybody knew it. And it was like the exact shape. And everyone's like, wow, look at that. But just like, how did that just, but again, you say, oh, this looks like this looks like that. And it's not until you know, Lisa and I have kind of done more of this. We go back to things that we saw in our childhood and gone, that was a bit strange. But now we're kind of like going, oh, that now makes a connection. And you're like, damn, yeah. So, I mean, that is something that's, you know, kind of, you know, you do look at all these pictures of these creatures and these giant, you know, crocodiles or these mountains or these rock faces and stuff. And, you know, it's like, I find it really hard to eat pink salt now because basically they reckon it's ground up basically giants, and that's what the pink salt is.
That's kind of where my theory's going, and that might be where salt water comes from, and that might be part of the reason why you can't drink it. But at the same time, isn't it ironic that they say that the women who made it with giants, they were cursed and made into what? Mermaids. You're literally swimming in your own kids with the salt. Possibly. I'm like, that would be kind of sick, but at the same time, but hold on, because what do we read in a lot of cryptid stories? If you want to keep them out, put a circle of what around you?
Same as spirits. That's your thing.
That's what I'm saying. There's a whether
salt around you. Yeah.
Dwarfs, fairies, fill in the blank. Now, this is where I started looking into the Romans. And sometimes the Roman legionnaires were actually paid in salt because they were farmers. And when they went back home, they wanted to preserve their food and whatnot. So this is where the terminology, he's worth his salts, salary, stems off of salts.
Wow. Oh my God.
So again, it was making me go, interesting. Okay. So that's all true. And it was the Masons who invented the first banks, right, during the Crusades, right? That started to make me think, okay, banks, and now we call all the terminology with banking currency, drowning in debt, head on above water, right?
Oh, wow.
Banks on the side of okay, right? So you keep going, mortgage, so on and so forth. All these things have terminology dealing with ocean.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, I kept going and I said, all right, so what's the etymology for money? Mono-eye.
Stop there. I was right.
Eye.
Thank you. Etymology is the word that I thought was right. I was like, he's into etymology. And she was like, that's the study of insects. And I was like, no, it's not.
Study of insects or something? Etymology.
I just totally stole your cliffhanger there, but I was like, fuck it, I got it right.
And
I tell you what, Brandon, like the fact that I can remember fucking anything right now is phenomenal. So I was like, yes.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh my God, that has literally blown my mind, but it makes so much sense, doesn't it? You know, and that's it, you know, like Lisa and I have learned to kind of really widen our mind. And we do it ourselves now, we'll go down a rabbit hole and just be like, this connection, and we're like, oh my God, why hasn't this connection been made before? Because like we see it, you know, it's like, it's really
okay. Yes, entomology. So thank you.
Word of the day.
Trophy moment.
And my apologies, I just had to throw my 4-year-old back out the door there. So then how does cryptocurrency link into money with an eye, all-seeing eye? I heard that part.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my second phase of that theory. So when you're looking at the are you familiar with the story of Daniel having interpreting the dream of Nebuchadnezzar's statue? You had the golden head, and it goes all the way down to the toes, the empire of iron and clay.
A little bit more for us.
That's a bit more.
Well, anyways, so the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, is having this dream, and he's basically seeing all the stages of the empires that are going to be. Babylon represented gold, Persia represented silver, Bronze Age, I think, was Greeks, and Roman. I'm thinking, I can't remember all the particular elements. Our iron represented the legs, and then it gets down to the feet, which is the empire of iron and clay. Now, iron and clay means man mixing with machine. That's actually 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons. The 10 toes representing the 10, the Club of Rome's 10, anyways, they want to divide it into 10 districts. I can't remember the exact terminology, but it's basically, so basically, technocracy, right? And 10, that equals X.
Yeah.
Started looking into C19. 1 equals A, I equals 9. AI equals X.
Oh.
Right. And I was going, okay, weird. Because again, C19, you spell C again, allegedly, when you say COVID backwards, it is divuk, which is a term for a demon. Allegedly in Hebrew. Allegedly. Because again, articles are saying no, but I'm over here going, yeah, I don't think this is a coincidence. So then I looked into the origins of the internet, which was created by the US military and by CERN, named after the Celtic god of the underworld, Cernunnos, the name meaning horned one. So that was a Cernunnos, and then the logo for CERN is 666.
Yeah.
Now, could all be a coincidence, but then I looked into the etymology for internet. Inter, place for 2 more corpse, net, to hold or restrain something. Okay, that could be nothing, but when we get to Ephesians 2:2, it says that Satan has the power over the airwaves. Just so happens that the symbol for air is the same as the pyramid on the dollar bill that has the all-seeing eye on it. Electrocurrents, so on and so forth. So I have a hunch that, again, a pyramid scheme, if you will, that the fallen watchers, the angels that committed all these crimes that were locked under the river Euphrates and they had to watch their children die, the Nephilim, the giants, had to die in the flood, what's one last thing you'd want to do once you're let out in the book of Revelation? I want to let my kids have some bodies back, and I'm going to do that by taking mankind and using them as human antennas, which they want to do by 2030.
Yeah.
Where you won't be able to off yourself. Why? Well, because in Switzerland, there is a thing known as the Beast system that collects data, and the sign of it is 666. What did I say about the Archons? They had the face of beasts, cryptids, so on and so forth. So I'm almost thinking that that's what they're going to do, is have an international possession grid that is demonically operated. Oh yeah, the root server for all computers is demon. When a Nephilim was slain, they became known as spirit beings, demons. Cell phone, prison phone, cell tower. Just so happens when you compare the cell tower image next to the sigil of Satan, it is the same exact thing.
That's one thing I picked up in Egypt. I remember that. I was taking photos like on the pyramids. I was in Egypt last November, and there's like all these really weird symbols and stuff like that. And I literally found in one of Ramses' tomb, I went down to see it. It's like this demon figure with horns. Never ever seen it before. Black demon, black cloak, black face, red horns. Just randomly in the middle, like you're walking down, and most people just like walk past, and even I just went, what the fuck is that?
I have questions. Tour guide.
Excuse me. Like there was like never ever saw anything like it. Like the whole, and I mean, we went into so many temples and places. That was the only place that I saw it, and it was literally this black demon with red horns. It was just, and it just like, it was insane. I was like, what the fuck?
Somebody please explain it.
And then the connection that we made from that, we started talking about Skinwalker Ranch and the Winter Basin and stuff. And we started going into the petroglyphs up in the rock side of the Uinta Basin. And I was like, holy shit, there's your horn guy. And we literally saw pretty much the same dude in black with the horns, same horns, same kind of structure. I was like, holy crap, because they stick out like dog's balls, right? Like they're just like straight there going, hello. You just have to go in with the right pair of goggles on. So it was wild. I was like, who are you?
Yeah,
we can
we'll
sort it.
send you the photo. I'll send you the photo. Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
wonder if I can drop it in here.
this is
Send
now where I'm
the
leaning
photo to
towards.
Brandon.
Send
Yeah,
Dean
that's
the
gonna look
photo.
great if anybody's outraged your house. Her last words were,
Disappeared.
So,
Oh shit. My bad.
my hunch is cryptid.
Yeah.
Crypto. Could that be Cryptosiris, the god of the underworld again? Osiris, god of underworld, Cernunnos, god of the underworld. Saint Petar, Dispatar. Dis means set apart. Patar, Peter, rock. God of the underworld, Latin sky god of the underworld. When you go to heaven, you see who at the pearly gates? Or is it really St. Peter? Is it actually the god of the underworld, Dispatar?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Cryptosiris. When he was the god, right? Rebirth, regeneration, born again. So maybe in a way, again, if everybody else is possessed zombie-like, why wouldn't the cryptids want to come back out? Mom and dad have just basically, I can walk amongst mankind again and not be seen as a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's buying into this because in order to access your crypto, your digital currency, you're going to have to either use your retina scan, all-seeing eye,
Yeah.
or your thumbprint. That's the only way to be able to access your invisible money.
So this is what we're talking about. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Bang on with that. And Juliet can shed way more light on what's happening in Australia at the moment, because we're getting, like, New Zealand is the little sister to Australia. Whatever happens in Australia on that sort of like kind of governmental high level sort of discussions and implementations, we get eventually, just under a different kind of messaging service, really. And so in Australia at the moment, they're not pushing, they're already implemented digital IDs and all that sort of stuff. And so
I'm just trying to find the official statement.
in New Zealand, we're getting like the secondary version, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to push it via the convenience of no longer having to carry your ID. You don't need to carry your driver's license anymore, because all you need is your phone. And then all you have to do is just scan your phone. And then when you get pulled up by the cops, they'll know who you are and it's fine. And everyone's like, well, what happens when my phone dies, or I don't bring my phone because I live in the fucking country and I don't have a cell phone? And because, New Zealand's incredibly rural, right? We live out
Australia even more so.
Yeah. And so they're just like, what happens then? Like, do I get a fine then? Like, what's going on? Like, well, I don't need that shit. Don't try to make something better because they're going under the guise of, it's convenience, and nobody
peace and
wants
safety.
it. Yeah.
Exactly what the Bible said. I was like, God. Trump said that during his inauguration too. I was like, you can look it up, government.org, peace and safety, exact phrase.
Peace and safety. It's like that old thing they put in, like all the in the Hollywood movies of, we're just here to keep you safe and protected, or we've got a safe place, like when the FBI comes in, like, we've got a safe place for you to go. If they say that, just run. Like, if they say that, and then she's like, they just said it.
They said the thing, man. They said the thing.
They said it. But yeah, Juliet and I were having this discussion the other day because I was like, are they rolling this out in Australia? She was like, Dick, it's already out.
Here. It's already here.
Been here for like a year and a half or whatever, right?
Yeah, we had an official statement basically going out that they're all the kids under 16, all this kind of crap. I'm like, then why don't you find, if you can tell that all these kids under 16 are online, then why don't you go and find all the pedophiles for a start? Because you know exactly where they are. It's there's all that kind of stuff. But I had to make a doctor's appointment, and then it basically came up and was like, there's a form that we want you to fill out, but it's not mandatory. This is, you can choose whether or not to fill it out. I'm like, okay, piss off. I've got enough shit to fill out. 5 minutes later, message popped up and basically said, if you don't fill this out, you can no longer come to this doctor's center.
It's not mandatory, but mandatory.
Yeah. So you literally have to fill it out. And then same as like trying to do online shopping now, you have to give digital ID and go through this whole process just to shop at Big W, just to shop at the supermarket online.
Get fucked.
Yeah.
Fucking wild, eh?
Yeah. Real, just like completely, like Australia is bad. Like people don't realize Australia is bad. There is so much control going on in this country. It's insane. Yeah.
Canada's not far behind you two guys. That's kind of what I notice is that New Zealand, Australia, Canada, it's always the same three. Where it's like, yeah, they say they're free, but it's like, no, they keep doing that. I'm like, guys, that's right across the border. And what they're doing with ICE, who's to say within a flick of a switch? It's like, oh, now that's what we're doing here too. It's like we got nowhere to go. That's it.
That's it. That's the scary part. Is like, you used to be able to go, if things turn to shit here, like Australians are moving out and going, oh, I'm going to go to the islands and stuff. You're going to a worse place, because there is absolutely just going to be hell is going to happen in these places when they realize that, these Western countries are cutting them off, and that's what they'll do. And
that's
then
what's happening right
and then they'll
now.
turn on them. It's
that's what's happening right now. And New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, we're perfect testing grounds. New Zealand is the perfect testing ground of 6 million people. They tested FPOS here, the start of the digital currency and that changeover and all that sort of stuff. They've tested so many things in New Zealand because we are just this lovely little group of people that have just enough diversity within the culture to, test it all out on different race and all that sort of stuff. And we are so chilled out and so laid back that we're not going to do anything major, and they know that. And until you get probably like our generation coming through, Jules, that just sit there and go, yeah, nah, fuck you. We've actually had enough now. That's probably the biggest challenge that they'll ever have as far as anything goes, the menopausal woman and the men that follow said menopausal woman, because they're forced into it, right?
And the grumpy old men, they'll be like, no way, fuck you. Yeah.
I think everybody keeps saying that it's going to be very easy, but I'm like, I think that's the problem, is that there's enough of a resistance, and that's why they crash podcasts. That's why they, interrupt phone calls, because it scares them. I'm censored up the wazoo, and I said, I think it's because I'm right over the mark. There's others that I'm like, cute, but I can make your stuff a little bit better because you're missing a lot of key points here. Like, and then there's like,
disclaimer.
It's like, it's good, but a little bit more. And then when you put that little bit more, it's like, oh great, now somebody's going to connect dots. And when they connect these dots, I mean, this good, right? And that scares them. And when people actually starts talking about it. Now, again, internment camp, dead mind meant camp, dead mind camps.
And I think this is a problem with, with people like us and the podcast. And this is why they want to control the internet. They want to control everything and keep us in our own spaces, because, we're getting together, we're talking, we're discussing. We are basically a revolution that is kind of coming through. So like over here, how many, when your babies and stuff are born and they get vaccines and stuff like that, how many vaccines do you think that your kids would have, like up to the age of 5? How many different vaccines?
In New Zealand, you get 8. I think there's 8.
What about you, Brandon? I don't know if you have kids or you got nieces, nephews, or...
I got a lot of nieces and nephews, but I basically got turned off from my entire family for being a truther. So.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know here. Here in Australia, 36 vaccines that they give children here. And if you do not vaccinate your children, you lose all your family tax. They cut you off for access for any social welfare care, anything like that.
Yeah, you can't go to kinder, you can't go to preschool.
You can't go to school, you can't go to kindergarten, all of that stuff. They literally will cut you off. You have to shove all the shit into your kids. And then, all these kids are coming out with autism. We have got so many autism schools in this country. I've never, ever seen, like, I worked in mental health for a very, very long time. And I have never, ever seen so many kids with mental health issues and autism and Asperger's. And it's just everywhere. Just everywhere.
You know the etymology for the word vaccine, right?
Well, what's that?
Of or from a cow. Invented by Caitlin Bruce Jenner or whatever's grandfather, and he was a Mason. And they call us Goyim. I don't know, but when I'm looking at that C19 days, I'm just like, were you trying to cull the herd?
Yeah.
Population decline, anyone?
Yeah, and that's literally it, isn't it? It's like to control the population. My stepfather was actually a top Freemason. Like, I look back now and go, oh my God, like I can remember my mum like starching all the shirt. He had like all the big gold things and off you go. He was like a real kind of like one of the top guys. And, you know, so we constantly had all the police at our place, the local council, you know, all these, you know, the mayor, all these fucking people would all come through the house. And yeah, it was pretty intense. So yeah.
It's funny when people are always saying, like, what do you have a problem with Masons for, Brandon? I'm like, oh, I got a lot of problems with them, but they do charity. They help with cancer. They do this. I'm like, yeah, you should see what they do in the back rooms. That's not too pleasant. I know you're not going to pick up the book, so what's the point? I mean, I know what you said earlier. That's part of the problem with some of the stuff that I'm touching is like, I'll tell you the book you can get. The problem is you're not willing to actually invest the time to read it.
Yeah.
So everything I say is like, you know, huh?
Yeah, you know things are happening, but you don't want to take the next step to understand what's happening. It's that whole, I don't have my head in the sand, but I don't want to do the work to really kind of open my mind up to it. Because once you're open to it, once you see it, you can't fucking unsee it, right? It's like Tom Hanks, fucking G.I. Jane, bloody Joe ruined that movie for me. Like, do you know what? There's so many things that I'm like, I wish I didn't know, but I'm so glad I know.
Yeah, and all the symbology and stuff now, and all the, you know, all the Disney it's so funny because I grew up like, you know, I've always said to Lisa, my mum was obsessed with Disney and cartoons and stuff. I fucking hated them. I never grew up like watching cartoons. I watched Cowboy and Indians. I watched sci-fi, fantasy. That was my thing. Try and sit me down to watch fucking Bambi. Oh no, thank you. I couldn't have it. But now you look back and like even you know, like I've got my 2 grandkids here, and I watch some of the stuff that, you know, that comes up, and you know, you look into Powder Puff Girls. That is you actually watch an episode of that as an adult now, and you're like, what the fuck? It's not good, you know. So it's you can see the constant brainwashing, you know, of the kids, and you know, and all that kind of stuff now. It's
hey, so Brandon, what do you like, us newbies that only know kind of the peripheral and now your theory? Just holding on to theories now. But us as newbies, as far as symbology goes, what do you think are the most important things for us to kind of connect the dots to, or what are the things that we should know as a baseline as far as the symbology within this kind of realm that we live in, the weird reality?
Well, ultimately, Kabbalah and Hermeticism is like the key tenets of the occult. The other 2 things I would say is the Talmud and usury. But it's solely like understanding what they're talking about with like transhumanism or regeneration, reincarnation, that kind of concept. That's not, what do you call it, like by chance coincidence. I'm almost beginning to think that that's what do you call it? The experiments that they did back in the day, I think they're trying to reboot and recreate that concept. And this is why there's such a push with the Marvel of superhero beings, or you know, the boys, the thing on Amazon.
Just everywhere, isn't it? It's just
and they're pushing that concept because they want you to think you could become like your own gods. They're pushing it on you, and as you just said, brainwashing. Now, granted, I can sit back and be like, oh yeah, because I'm entertained, but at the same time, I'm not deceived because I actually know what's going on. But I can also sit back and be like, okay, but the average person, they're not really thinking, right? I think it was Heidi Love. I'm not sure if you guys did shows with her. Shout out to Heidi.
Heidi.
We'll look you up.
she's fun. Unfiltered Eyes. But we were talking on one of our things, and she has one actually with the Cabbage Patch Babies, so that'd be perfect right up your guys' alleys.
Oh, cool.
And she was saying that there was a study that was done, and I think she was saying up to 50 to 60 something % of the population, they have no inner dialogue. None. So basically, if you said to them, picture in your head an apple, they can't do it.
I literally heard that just the other day, that nobody, there are people out there that don't have conversations going on in their head.
I'm like,
Or I
wait,
can have a whole fucking conversation.
with
I
myself.
have team meetings all the time. I'm like, if I'm walking down the street talking to myself, don't fucking interrupt me. I'm having a staff meeting. Okay. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was like, again, even before getting on here, I was talking. I do like dialogue once in a while because I like writing, and I was like, it's people not having the ability to describe or create something in their head. I'm like, if you have no imagination, and on top of that, they're injecting you with all this crap, and on top of that, they're putting so much stuff in your food, and now they're bombarding whatever you do take into your brain. This concept that you could become like your own god, or the politics where you have to go this way, you have to go that way, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're just numb, but you're vulnerable. You're now gullible. You're fertile soil to, oh, look, next psyop. Oh, look, here's the next thing rolling out, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I see where they're going with this AI jib-jabs that Bill Gates wants to introduce. And he was even saying by 2028, if you don't have the digital ID, you will be ostracized from society.
Yeah. And you won't be able to travel. Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Right, and I'm beginning to think there's also, it's going to be a perk after this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a World War III, right?
Yeah.
And if nukes are real, not real. I'm kind of leaning on not, only because I've been watching some documentaries. Whether it's true, I don't know. I could be proven wrong, and I'll be vaporized. Who cares? But the concept here, that's right. It's like, I was wrong here. Okay. But
I'm wrong and did.
I have a hunch that there's going to be an event, and it's going to be at the Giza pyramids because symbolism wise, they've kind of illustrated that there will be something there with Trump. And let's say that they're signing the finalization of the Abrahamic Peace Accords. Right? And let's say that this is, they said October 2nd of 2027, there'll be a special announcement regarding Trump. That's supposed to be the start of a new Jewish New Year. Whether that has any meaning, I don't know. But then again, 5 days post that, let's say that there's this finalization. Let's say he gets assassinated, right? Doesn't die, but he's in critical condition. He gets sped over to the U.S. J.D. Vance follows the protocol. If the Iran tries to do an assassination attempt, we have World War III, blah, 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 blah. Within these 3 days, suddenly Trump comes back because of Elon has some kind of neural link crap to help bring him back. It's like a messiah complex. Anyway. And while all that happened, there was a huge nuclear waste that went off, right? At least that's the story that they tell us. And we see all this big stuff go off on the TV. And people start breaking out in radiation rashes, right? And they say that there is a solution, an AI. And in actuality, how you got the rashes is because they amped up the 5G towers from what you put in your body in 2020, and you start breaking out. So in order to get they put the poison in, and now to reduce it, you have to get the antidote. And again, with a worldwide thing going on, radiation, you're saying, well, if you have, and they say that they do have stuff that could cure radiation poisoning, and or radiation that now can do cure cancer via the jab. So I don't know, but that would be kind of an event where everybody's going, yeah. And what does it say in Revelation? By the pharmakia, where the nation's deceived?
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, the pyramids, what you just say, the demon thing, like there is a connection, and there's a reason why they put that on America's dollar bill. Pyramid, pi, fire, Ra, sun god, mid, fire of the sun god in your mid, pyramid. That's what that means.
That's always the question, isn't it? Why would you put a pyramid on the dollar bill? Like, what is the point? What is the purpose? Why do we have an obelisk in America? Like, what is the purpose of these symbols if not to use them at some point?
Thank you. That's what I keep telling everybody is like, there's okay, I understand. It's a cult symbol. Okay, woo woo, 666. Now, what does it mean? You don't really know. So this is the annoying thing that's like, or you're like, oh, that's pagan, or well, what is paganism? You don't really know, do you? So that's what irks me so much is these people are pointing out things, but they don't really know what they're pointing out, what they're condemning, or where it's all going. Whereas I'm trying to at least speculate.
Sorry, Brandon. It's just because they're on top, right? They're not going any deeper, like we talked about.
Right.
They're willing to go, oh, this is what it is, 666 and the occult and da da da. I only know the shallow version. I haven't bothered to go any deeper, and in which case I haven't managed to get to a point like what you're saying is what.
But my government will protect me.
Right. Or for me, it's like if we had C-19, and now they're doing other psyops, which again I lean towards the Charlie Kirk thing as another one, but that's just my 2 cents. And again, it's like, okay, so you guys keep falling for these things, which means you're not really learning. For some of us who are actually putting stuff out there going, I could be wrong. However, oh yeah, I can see it. Oh, yeah. You see the narrative they're going with this? Do you see, like, again, it's like I have to walk through people through it, and it's so simple to see if you understand how to read symbolism. And as 33-degree Freemason Manly P. Hall once said, when mankind starts to lead the language and understand the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. Coincidentally enough, revelation is the Greek term for apocalypse, which means the lifting of the veil.
Yeah.
So some of us are seeing what's going on, and we're telling everybody we sound crazy.
Yeah.
And the other ones are here laughing at us because it's like, it's so obvious. We put it in your face all the time, and you consent left, right, and center.
And that's it, isn't it? That's that thing that they constantly tell us, that they're telling us what they're doing.
Yes.
But we just, you know, and unless you're kind of understanding that, you're kind of like, what, you know, it's like this whole thing at the moment about, you know, the babies and, you know, the McDonald's thing and human meat and, you know, and all this kind of stuff, and, you know, all these sacrifices, and how do you get this? And it's by, you know, this serum or whatever it is, and it's by sacrificing, you know, terrified children and babiys, you know, and all this other kind of stuff. They're literally telling you what they are doing, and people are like, oh no, that would never happen. You know, like how many children, what it was, over 400,000 children a year go missing in America.
Yes.
Oh, it's like, like
a lot of
that's
kids.
insane.
Insane.
Well, there was this theory going on that the missing kids, like in a Walmart in America that they have on the line, that's actually a shopping menu for certain individuals.
Yeah.
And that just kind of made it like, oh, that's even sick.
Yeah.
Well, again, like I said, what they call is goy. Go get a McDonald's burger. Oh, go get a burger. And they call us cows. Oh.
Just ruining everything for me. Stop it.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm posting on some of that with Trump because I'm like, why would you be wanting to do a photo op with the you know, the sigil of Baal with the McDonald's symbol? That's part of the thing in the satanic book. It's like, why would you want to do a photo op with that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, his photo, right? Yeah, his photo.
Making me think of did you see The Hobbit, the spin-off thing?
No. Like from the Lord of the Rings
spin-off movies with what that just came out a couple years ago.
Oh yes, yeah. I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Do you remember the one where they go down below and there's the goblin chief, the big tall fat guy with very
yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like now when I was seeing the imagery when Israel just did like a Saturday Night Live thing and they had Trump in the throne and they had the McDonald's thing behind him and it was big. I'm like, oh, this is so gross. I could see it. It's like they're showing us how disgusting they are, what they do behind closed doors. And you're just like, what you got? What you prefer Biden? You prefer the baby killer Kamala? Oh gosh, no! Like you guys, it's all of them. Like
it's all of them.
You want Dracula or you want a werewolf? What you like?
Yeah. Like we did a piece on, like, you know, we talked a little bit about the women and, you know, how strange they're looking and the long fingers and that you know, they're like,
not just me.
They're just getting younger and younger, and they're just like they all look the freaking same. I don't know who's who now. Like I kind of look at them going, you all look the fucking same. I follow a woman. She literally is like, who's this? Who is this now? And you're like looking, you're like, fuck, I have no idea who it is. And she'll be like, oh, it's like this famous person. You're like, no shit.
Like Shania Twain, right? That did my head in. Shania Twain shows up on stage because she lives in New Zealand, right? She lives down the South Island of New Zealand.
Yeah,
she's got big, amazing farm, you know, country and western singer, super popular when we were growing up and that sort of stuff, like in our 20s. She shows up on stage like a year ago in like a lycra, whatever, leotard, because we're all fucking wearing leotards now. Let's save it for the gymnasts, but that's fine. I'm just like, the last time I wore a leotard, I was on a beam, but okay. That's the, you know, old lady in myself. But I just stood there going, who the fuck is that? And they're like, it's Shania Twain. And I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Even that is not Shania Twain. She's in her 60s. Like, there's no way, man. She is just a totally different person. I'm like, clone. I just go straight to the
Clone.
Clone.
Straight there.
Just no.
Must be a clone.
Clone, robot, yeah.
Well, like what's his name? The guy that plays Ant-Man, something Paul, right? Paul.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, I know who you mean.
Paul
yeah,
Rand.
yeah.
Was it Paul Rand? Did I get it right? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't. Again, I know faces. I don't know names. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm shocking. Yeah.
Tom Cruise, same thing. It's like it went. Was the girl he did? Was it Dirty Dancing with? Or no, that wasn't him. There was one movie that he did back in the day, and you looked at his co-star now. She's fat. She's pudgy. It's like I was like, how do you like? There's no. Oh, it was Top Gun. They're showing the star from the original movie versus how he looks now. He doesn't look a day over, and she's like
Kelly McGillis. I think it was Kelly McGillis or something.
Years have not been kind to you, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I understand we do get old.
Yeah, we get old, and if we're not putting shit in our faces or fucking taking adrenochrome, there's something going on, Tom Tomanaki.
Yeah. Well, then again, that's where I'm over here going, gauging the appearance of his co-star. I think it's safe to say she's not in the club.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Everybody's over there like, everybody's in the club. I'm like, I think there's 95, 98%. But then you look at somebody like that, I'm like, I don't think she got an invite. I don't want to
She didn't drink the yellow juice,
or she didn't. She said no to the yellow juice, and she backed away. Yeah.
Well, like, I don't really know her in too many other things aside from like that. I mean, again, there might be one or two, but it's like after a certain decade, they just disappear off the face of the earth. And when you see them now, you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Well,
all these women that are doing this comeback, hey, and you're like, who the fuck? And then you're like, who? Oh my god.
Yeah. Not even the same person.
I can't remember his name. There's also he was in Dungeons and Dragons, the movie Dungeons and Dragons, and he's been
Chris Pine?
Is it Chris Pine? He just looks like a plastic doll. This guy, he looks like a plastic Ken doll, and he's looked like this for years. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to him? So,
him and Zac Efron, right? From High School Musical. He is just, whoa, dude. Like, what the hell is going on with you people? And yeah, sure, plastic surgery and all of the above, but there is definitely something else. There's something really, real bad school going on in and around the Hollywood scene and that kind of the movie making scene. And it's crazy town. You know, they've just released their very first CGI, I beg your pardon, AI actor.
Yes. The brunette that they're suing, that doesn't exist.
Yeah. And then I went, and that's the end of that industry. Goodbye. Because we're actors, right? So we come from an acting industry, and I'm just like, oh, we're fucked.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love acting, especially when you could do satire. Because I hate to say it, sometimes you're blunt as hell with somebody, but they don't get it unless you go like, oh, hey, mate, you're talking about me. Yeah, and you're lucky that some of us are willing to put energy into that because we understand it doesn't always work unless it's through entertainment. Sadly, that's kind of how they conditioned us as well, is that we don't get it unless we're over here like, wow, that really made me think. Good. Now do something with that.
Yeah. And it's like when you're sitting there and you're watching something, and I can't even remember where I was, and I was in a room full of people, and it was some movie or something, and a company was like, he made some joke about him being a eunuch. I was the only one that laughed. Like, I just started laughing. Everyone's looking at me going, what do you mean? What's a eunuch? I'm like, you know, like crunch, crunch with the rocks, and they're just like nothing. I'm like, okay.
No,
I can't remember what it was, but he was literally like, yeah, time to make you a eunuch. He's got the rocks. Nobody got it. I'm just like dying. And they're just like, nobody understood. And I'm like, come on, guys. It's just like, you guys are just like,
no, a lot of people, they're stupid. And it's like, I think that's part of the thing is people are eye rolling at you, and it's not because they don't think it's not funny. It's more of a, I have no idea what you just said.
What's going on. Yeah.
And I'm beginning to see that, like, with a lot of my peers, I'm like, go ahead.
That comes from the no inner thought process, though, right?
Yes.
I can't believe that. That means you have no imagination. If you have no you can't formulate.
You're basically a corpse, a walking corpse.
Yeah, which means you can't
or zombie.
Anything. You can't change your life. You can't time jump. You can't anything. You can't. Sure as fuck can't levitate. You know, like how are you? Put that one in there.
Well, no, it's like
those things, you know.
If they can't even understand, like I said this one the other day. I said archaeologists date things. I prefer courtship. And she goes, "What's courtship?" Oh, darling.
I know.
Wow.
That's the end of our courtship.
That's how bad it is. I'm like, that was good. And you, oh dear. And then I have to,
no,
when I'm explaining, I said, technically anarchists are idiots. And they're going, huh? Well, first, anarchists are people who don't believe in government. I said, and then idiots comes from the Greek, which means idiotes, which means somebody who didn't want to participate in politics. It's not an insult unless you just don't want to participate in politics. So that's literally what it means. And when they say I'm an idiot, I'm like, yes. Well, if I'm a moron, I'm a fool. Now I take offense.
Now you get me. Now you get me.
I got a scale here to determine how stupid I am. And I want to make sure you're using the right word before you insult me, and I'm triggered.
It's funny.
It's like,
oh my
all right,
God.
yeah, now I'm offended.
I really want to invite Brandon over to have Christmas Day at my house because fuck, you'd be wild at the table. That would be so fun.
I went to see my Aunt Nancy, and I'd never met her before. It was the first time meeting biological family members when my mom was let out of prison. And I went into the kitchen and I was assisting her, and we both, I can't remember what it was, but we both said the same exact pun at the same exact time. We both just looked at each other, and I was like, it's not just me. This is a family thing. We are, like, this is biological, my crazy, pun. Because there's times I do it in the family, and I'll just be looking at me like, somebody else would get that. And when we had that moment, I was like, okay, so there's a family thing where we pick up on this. It comes second nature to us again as we started the show, and you were looking at me. I'm like, I can't help it. It just comes natural.
So cool. What a cool moment for you to know that you have that sort of connection, that genetic connection, eh?
Yeah. Or just having a sense of humor, or that instantaneous vibe, maybe you could say. It's like, oh, we could totally work off of this. Cool. Everybody else?
Guys, we're gonna go have beer.
Huh?
Just be like, see you guys, we're gonna be over here in the corner.
We've got a pun war. We've got a pun war going on.
That was like when Lisa and I we first met. I'm like you. I'm very much the oddball and the black sheep of the family. Like, people will be like, and then Lisa and I, we met. We literally clicked from day one. And and we say it now that we must have been old souls, that we would have been friends, and we have gone through some lifetimes, and pretty much we've probably been murdered in all of them. So because we've pissed people off. But we have, and it's that weird thing that you just you have that instant connection, and that other person gets you and understands you, and it's and literally nobody in my family does.
And at this point, it's over here I like hanging out with my crew because they get me. It's like, if I hang out with you, it's like I literally am counting the hours to leave. It sounds like an introvert thing to say, but it's like, it's true. I like giving my energy to people that are like-minded. The rest of you, it's like, I literally feel like I'm in a morgue.
Like I'm suffocating. And you have to censor yourself all the time. You got to be careful about what you say. And
it's such an interesting environment we get ourselves into, where we kind of the things that drag us, I guess, like the way the universe drags us into this sort of space. This is a really niche space, and there's not a lot of people here that you really truly connect with. And the conspiracy realm, I think, is even more so, right? Like, being in that space, there's a lot of controversy through that, and then you bring in religion on the other side of it, shitloads of, and then being American, it's just more and more and more, and I find it just so fascinating that you've been in it for such a long time, and you obviously have quite a thick skin now, or you've figured out how to navigate and keep yourself in a really, really happy place. Because otherwise you'll find that, you get absolutely hammered. And I've been through that with Juliet kind of stepping out and having to have a full-time job and that sort of stuff, and me kind of being the face and running the business and doing all that sort of stuff. And I've been fucking trolled, and we don't troll in New Zealand. We punch people in the fucking face. Like, if you have a problem with me, come at me.
Kiwis deal with shit. It's
fuck you up, and then we're all good, and then we'll be friends afterwards. That's how we deal with shit. And so this whole online trolling thing really it hurts my heart, and I'm like, no, they're not even real people, and I just haven't really grown up with that. So like, I don't know where my question's going with this. I don't even know if there's a question in that, but I just I appreciate the fact that you've been in it for so long, and especially within the conspiracy realm where it's so opinionated. There's so many assholes. I mean, like in the way of like opinions are like assholes. Not people assholes.
Even when I get that, before I block somebody, I'll give them like a litmus of compare, contrast, and like I'll run myself through whatever I'm laying out to them, and it's like, yeah. So before you open your mouth, remember all these things the next time, because like I don't have time for people that is basically don't only debate your equals, or again, that debate, converse with. And it's not to say I'm smarter than you, and it's like, no, intelligent people only thrive off the ignorance of others. I want you to be at my level. If you're a genuine person, you're in this for love, you want to bring somebody to your level. It's not about, self-esteem, boasting, whatever you want to say. And when you get these individuals that are just over here going, gang, 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 and there's like, we're not even on the same playing field here. Go away. Especially the Karens. It's like, listen.
I love Karens.
You don't even know where to find the notification button on your phone when somebody responds to your comment. But why don't you go sit down and take your little, poofy faced dog as your photo? It's like, don't take it on a walk and stay on that walk. Keep going.
Yeah.
I think honestly, the biggest thing I've learned, just hit the block button. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But there's a few where it's like, you know what, I have to post this and write my little thing is like, because this is what I deal with, or we deal with all the time. I get death threats. I get this. I get that. And it's very toxic. And it's over here like, you know what? But then you get that one person who DMs you and says, thank you for what you do, because you've inspired me. And this is now in turn helping me with my family. It's like, that's what it's all about.
That's what I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, I love it. There was one of the writers, and she writes monster porn, which is really funny. Just it's a whole different. Anyway, so this was in the States. Christian one was and because she paid, like, she's Wiccan and she does all that kind of stuff. And so this woman was just like, I am going to go to Walmart. I'm going to buy all your books, and basically I'm going to go out into the paddock and I'm going to pour petrol on, and I'm going to burn them. And she says, I'm going to pray to my God for you. And she just basically turned around and went, how pagan of you. Oh my God. I thought that was just.
I'm going to have a sacrificial burning.
I was like, that was just like the best fucking comeback ever. It's just like.
Wow. I mean, I hate to say it. That's the irony. Like, so wait, you don't support her work, but you're going to put money into supporting her work. Just so you can burn it. And it's like, I
pray over it in the field and be like, oh my God. Like,
and dance around it like a pagan ritual.
It doesn't just like the comments after it were just like hilarious. And like one of them was like, oh, tell her to buy your hardbacks because they burn longer.
Wow. And I get another $3-4 per purchase.
Yeah.
I blocked one guy, and he literally paid me like $1 per time. He wanted to keep talking with me, insulting me, so he kept paying me $1 on my app in order to go do that. And I was like, bro, I couldn't help it. I unblocked him for just a second. I says, thank you for your support. Keep this going. Like, I'm getting paid to be insulted by you. By all means, keep going.
Brain power.
It's like, I'm sorry, mate. This is getting really mean. It's now $5 a message.
Pretty much. It's like, I ought to start charging rates. This is wonderful. to get paid. Like, I think this is where it's like, I'm looking at people going, this is how sad your existence is. You can't donate, cheerfully, or just, thank you, whatever. You have to be mad in order to do this.
And that's literally all these people are, isn't it? And that's it. They literally, these women just sit there and they just, and guys, they just want to sit there and pick a fight, because that is their drama, that is their life, that's their existence, is picking fights with people.
But that's what's been created, right? So let's come back to a conspiracy theory. You said something about human antennae, like they want us to be human antennas, right? So like bringing it back to that, like using all of the psyops and the media, and like, you know, you hear all the media repeating exactly the same shit. Recently in New Zealand, we had, just to show you how incredibly well the COVID stuff worked, incredibly well. Recently we had all of these storms come through New Zealand, and they were pretty bad storms that got up to about 140k winds, maybe something around there. We don't really get out of bed until it's about 180, but 140 on the flat ground's pretty crazy town. Like that'll rip up some trees and shit. But it's wind. You know, we grow up in New Zealand. We have wind. We live on the Pacific Ocean. We get fucked up all the time. Like shit's like flying around. Trampolines are flying around. This is how incredibly well the COVID situation and all the propaganda worked, right? The moment the news started coming out saying, we've got these big storms, it's category 1, it's red level, we went up to for our weather channel guy, and like the breaking news, red level wind warnings, blah, blah, blah. People starting to message me going, are you guys okay? Because we're in the Wairarapa, which is like right next to a big mountain range, so we get hammered with the winds coming down. These houses have been here for 70 odd years, like we're fine. Or longer than that, 80 years, we're fine. But people are like, oh my god, you know, like it's a red level, like it's really dangerous. And I'm messaging back going, we're not in Hurricane Alley, it's not a hurricane, it's just wind.
Just another storm, guys.
Go around, set your shit up, make sure you lock everything down and stay in your house. You'll be fine, right? Oh my god, a 3rd story roof is blowing off. Yeah, that's because it was like an old flour mill. It's 160 years old. That tin's gonna fly off at some point. Like all this stuff, and like, man, it was crazy. And there was a video at one point that went onto the news of a woman in central Wellington, and they get absolutely hammered by the wind. We know this, getting blown into the road. Right? She was walking down the street, got a wind gust, got blown into the road.
And then crumbled across the road.
Oh my god! Like, and I'm just sitting there going, it's wind. Like,
and how many times, Lisa, had that happen to us? We didn't fall over, but the amount of times we would be in Wellington City and a wind gust would come, and all of a sudden you're like going across the road when you weren't planning to. You're like, okay.
And I'm going, yeah.
And you like, literally would just grab off a car on the other side and be like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. But it doesn't last forever. It's only like wind gusts or whatever. But man, the quickness that these people, that's, you know, the citizens jumped on this blew my mind. And I was like, oh, well, we're primed. We're primed for another lockdown. Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my starting point, where I went, oh wow, we're really like, the propaganda is really pushing hard, and everyone's into the news and everyone's into the media and must watch. So like when you mentioned human antenna, can you take us through kind of what do you think, is that feeding into that? I imagine that all of that sort of numbness in the brain and that sort of stuff is all feeding into being a human antenna. For what purpose though? So where is that going? Well, what does that kind of stream look like?
That's where I look into, there was a video that Elon released, like, I think November, like a week or so post Trump's winning the election. It was called Dark MAGA Assemble. And watching it, there's like a lot of anime background stuff, and a lot of them are zombie like animes, like Attack on Titan. There's another one where they'll take like medieval Templar stuff, and they'll show knights with like laser eyes, but they're all walking around like zombie armies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The one in particular that stood out to me, and again, I don't watch that much anime, so this is why it was I was like, wow, out of all the things. It came out from an anime series that came out in movies, and this was Berserker. And then the third one, there's an individual by the name of Griffin that was in charge of a mercenary group. And he's very sickly, but he's having this vision where he betrays all of his men in order to get to the castle, because he wants to become, you know, the ruler, the king or whatever. And as he is getting towards the castle in his vision, he is walking over the bodies of all of his dead comrades like steps in order to get there. And I'm like, zombie images they're showing in the background like an authoritarian state where cops are like kicking in doors. I'm like, that sounds like ICE foreshadowing now in hindsight. And now they're showing a zombie-like culture that is following this Make America Great thing. Now, granted, maybe America is just emphasizing our particular district, but this is where things like the Hunger Games come into play. It's like there's going to be several districts, and that's kind of what I see what they're doing with the 5G and whatnot. Everybody's just going to get into zombie mode and line up and do things because they really don't know how to think for themselves.
Yeah.
It's whatever the news tells me. Again, news, north, east, west, south. Everybody's hearing it on the wind, right? It's like, yeah, this is what they're programming you to tune in and to react and not to think. Again, government means mind control. Govern, to control, meant mind. So everybody's tuning in. Hey, what's the government got to say? What they got to... And it's like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Huh? You don't know how to think, do you? What's the... Yeah. So that's kind of where I see they're going with that, is that they're telling people it's for your own good, and then by 2030, they're going to be like, right into this little pod here, huh? Don't worry, you'll start to become like a god when you get out on the other side, and next thing you know, it's like they literally are going into the pods that you see in the Matrix movie, and they're like, don't worry, this is gonna be long, just, and you're in.
Oh, wow.
But I did think, I always thought to myself, though, having an upload of karate would be real cool. Like, I can do karate already. Okay, that's great. But like having an upload of like, now I know size and now I know nunchucks. Like, yeah, that'd be way faster than like learning it.
You talking about the series Chuck?
Oh, yeah, sure.
This is really what I just downloaded the Intercept, which I think, yes, it would be kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
But if you're waving that carrot and then you don't deliver on said promises, that's kind of like, come on, man.
Oh, so it's like, you know how to use nunchucks, but you can never use them. Like, you know how to do it, but you can never touch them ever again. It's like, guys suck.
Well, it's like the thing where it's like you get to grant a wish, but you have to make it so they get what they want, but it's useless.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to fly. Cool. You'll be able to fly, but you'll never be able to land.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just shit. It's like,
damn you.
And this is what we know now. If we get these wishes, we're like, right, okay, how's this going to work? I need to be able to do this, and
you try and like manipulate it. I've thought about it. I've got it written down.
I'm on to you guys.
I got it written down in a book.
Hey, so just off the ball, what's your view on the dog man and stuff like that? Because like there's we've had a few. I find the dog man quite interesting, and I've heard different theories about how dog man has come about. He's literally been seen all over the world. And, we have a lot, hundreds of sightings here in Australia, which is insane.
Yeah.
That I'm surprised. I didn't know they were all the way over to Australia, but yeah, I do have.
And in New Zealand.
In New Zealand.
But a lot in Australia.
The werewolf one, I kind of find 50-50. I'd lean more towards dogmen with most of the stories. There was one story that I heard. It was on one of the shows I was listening to, but the way it's those people that like write in to the podcaster, and they'll be like, "This is anonymous," blah 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 blah. But this guy had to have written 5 to 6 pages talking about a thing called Project Feather in the late 1980s, early 90s. There were parts that were so specific that makes you kind of scratch your head going, I don't think even a fiction writer could do this. And he was talking about how his dad was part of this project. I think it was in Texas. And they were basically starting to extract DNA from all sorts of animals. So, and again, for instance, that he used for like a moth, because they have the sonar thing. They would extract a little bit of that DNA, whatever that is, and try to...
Mothman!
Yeah. They're trying to take a little bit of this or take a little bit of that. And eventually they created these cryptids, and a lot of them were sounding very much like dogmen. They were saying that they brought them over to Guantanamo Bay, and they were practicing using them on some of the prisoners over there. And then eventually they were done with the project, and they released them in the bayous of Louisiana. And I've heard more than a few cryptid stories of dogmen, and I was going, wait a minute. So they already exist, allegedly, and now you're telling me we are creating programs to create them again. Now, the fact that you're using them on prisoners, right? Like they can't exactly run away, but that's like a horrible way to go. Even if you are in Gitmo, I mean, there's probably a reason you're there, but knowing who our government does, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's like I truly think that if they were creating a program like that, and some of the stories that I've heard, I think they do exist.
Yeah. Yeah. We've heard stories that basically, you know, how there's the underground train system which basically goes all around the world. And so one of the theories that's come up is that they're being made in America and then basically being shipped to other countries. Yeah. So that was
soldiers, yeah.
And
there are, like, you know, there's Pine Gap in Australia, and there's a couple of other
American bases,
dumb bases underneath the ground, and yeah, absolutely, they all have tunnels connecting them. And same with New Zealand as well. We don't have any American bases, but we do have an American Air Force base down in Christchurch, which is basically like the stop point for Antarctic retreats. Retreats.
Retreats.
Down there for a retreat.
No, I could see that. What was it? What was you just reminded me of something when you were saying that. Are you familiar with the novel Between Five Eyes?
Between Five Eyes? No.
It is a security thing of a spy program between
the Five Eyes. Yeah.
UK,
so 5As is the
New Zealand, Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And was it South Africa or something like that? But anyways, I find it interesting that you said that, because it's like I think there is a connection between, you know, secret services, call it what you will, and these cryptids, because every time you're finding out that these bodies have disappeared, it's always Men in Black and stuff like that pop up out of nowhere. There was another story that I heard, I think this was about 2-3 years ago, where the dogmen, there was a pack of them, they were surrounding a area that was for mental health in a ranch in Montana, and allegedly, again, take it with a grain of salt, but they were calling a team to come in and, you know, eliminate the pack, and they had the like the feline serpent eyes. The group that came in, like they look like men, but they were like half hybrids of whatever those alien serpent eye thing. And again, I'm like, okay, maybe yes, maybe no. But he said when the guy blinked, it was kind of like a, you know, this way, the eyes, it flicked sideways, up and down. And I'm like, okay, so you knew they existed, but you had to call in an extraction team, and you had to get another cryptid-like thing in order to destroy it. Again, the story sounded pretty it all sounded legit till it got, and I was like, I don't know. But again, I've heard other stories, and it's like these guys popped up again to clean up the job.
Yeah.
I can't exactly just throw the baby out with the bathwater, because a consistent pattern with modern tales that I'm hearing where these guys are cleaning up. So it's like you need them for certain areas. But the biggest thing I heard is that he thinks there's something about these werewolves that they prey upon fear, more so than actually, you know, taking out the victim. It's like what hones them in is fear.
Interesting.
I've heard that too, and that's what we talked about, right? Dogman. There's never a happy Dogman encounter. You're never super happy going, this Dogman was really amazing, and, you know, like, he took my family
with a selfie.
Let me stroke his tummy, you know, give him a scratch.
There was none of that.
Whereas Bigfoot, there is.
Who wants a biscuit?
Give me snack.
It's never like that, right? It's always a little bit fucking terrifying and like scary, like super scary. And they'll chase you, and they'll, you know, there's stories of them chasing kids across the river, and like really, and that ominous feeling, that feeling of absolute dread and death is just surrounded by it. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Maybe they are energy vampires.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that could be their quote unquote sonar.
So
there's another story that I was hearing where a guy was running, and he got lucky because he tripped and he rolled down this incline, but then he, like, you know, he climbed to his little cup that was underneath it, and the thing was running right over. But it was kind of like the scene in The Lord of the Rings. The thing was riding in the bling back. But yeah, they said he was sniffing and stuff like that. But I said I think I was just out of where he could smell me. But it's like, what was he probably smelling? It was the fear. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing you use it as, like, the energy vampire, the sonar equivalent. I don't know. I'm not a pro, but I can speculate enough of saying I think this is how they function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're being seen almost more than Bigfoot now, which we find really interesting.
Globally.
There seems to be more dogman sightings here than Yowie sightings, which is really, really insane. So
You get Bigfoots in Aussie land?
yeah, we have Yowies.
That's the one that has a little bit more of the orange fur, correct?
Yeah, they're kind of orange, but they are brown and black and stuff like that as well. No, we've spoken to a lot of people that had a lot of encounters and stuff with them here. So they're definitely here. They're definitely here.
And they're grumpy.
And they're grumpy,
and
like
caves.
all Australian things. They've got a bad attitude. They're not like the friendly ones. Like over in the States, it'll be like, oh, Bigfoot came and had lunch with me. Now, these things are just pissed all the time. It's just like everything here in Australia.
Claws and
claws. Sometimes seen with like massive fangs, like everything. Yeah.
They're scary motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the stories, it sounds like some of are docile. And there's other ones where I'm like, dude, it would not be a good night to run into one of these guys. No, not. My biggest thing is like there has to be one hunter that got it. Nobody had a key shot on one of these things. Just one.
Yeah.
With all the modern firepower and technology we got, I mean, come on, somebody with a shotty sitting up in a tree.
Oh, but wait. What if like all the cell phones are actually like inbuilt with like non-cryptid like photographic ability?
Encryption, cryptids.
They knew.
Well, that could explain why the photos never come out correctly, because there's an encryption for the cryptid. This is why they're always blurry.
This is the reason we all needed to get together. This one part right here.
Oh my God. We've just found a whole new theory. That is awesome, Lisa. Fucking love it.
I'm just saying, it makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense now, doesn't it?
So my parents have fixed that phone, so you could take a photo of me if you want, but it's going to come out blurry.
Yeah. And that's why they're like,
they won't believe you.
I gotta pick up behind the tree.
Oh, you have a smartphone? Oh, that's never going to take a good photo of me.
iPhone is like, yeah, mom and dad knows what's up. Yeah, go ahead, try it.
Yeah.
I'll post for you.
Take the Nokia. Takes way better photos. Oh, fuck, that's funny.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh my God, that is a whole new theory. We're gonna have to.
I'm almost kind of scared to say. Like, I know we're laughing about it, but that'd be kind of weird if that's actually a thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's literally nobody can take a clear photo, can they?
Yeah. Well, the ones that they do are all in black and white, or it's 50-50. I heard somebody break down finally the one in California, the classic one that we all got. The Bigfoot photo. Yeah. And I'm over here going, like, I think the guy made a very solid case. Like, he went over every single point, whereas it could have been lying, blah, 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 and he goes over all the points. And I was over here at the end, like, yeah, I think that was the real thing. I think he made a very solid case breakdown of if he could have been lying, da-da-da-da. I was like, again, I sometimes I sit there and I pretend I'm the jury.
Yeah.
If the person can present a good enough story, and I'm over here going, yes. There's other ones where I'm over here like, you're a liar.
That ain't true, bro.
You sit on a throne of lies.
You've built up a field of lies. You're just lying in that field of lies.
I've read enough of these stories where I'm over here like, yeah, no, you're missing a lot of key elements here. You're just doing this to get from newspaper publicity.
Yeah.
There's other ones where I'm over here like, yeah, I think you had a really bad day, and I understand the trauma. Come over here. Here's a couple.
Come give you a hug. Did Bigfoot not hug you? Oh.
Hey, so Brandon, Brandon, we talk about. Yeah, go.
I was just gonna say, I was like, I've said this before. Is like if somebody murdered somebody, I'd be like the guy's like, all right, I get to have the munchies, I get to pick the soundtrack. The same thing with the story of a cryptid. You know how they're over here like, none of my family would believe me, even if I said. I'd literally be like, where was it? What was the time and place? Let's go. But then I don't want to go back there. No, I want to know. Like, one friend that'd be like, I believe you.
And that's where I always at that thing. It's like, people are walking through the bush, and then next minute Bigfoot throws a rock at them. I'm like, my first response would be literally to pick it up and throw it back. And people are like, oh no. no. Like, what?
I don't think that was a great
I mean,
custom.
you could be trying to play catch. Like, what's going on?
It's just like nobody throws this back ever.
She's the best.
That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do I do now?
Shit, she knows it's me.
Or
Come
like
out
you
and
hit him and he's like,
play.
ow. Like, ow, she hit my arm.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine that? Just throwing something back here and just doof. And you're like, okay.
Like Harry and the Henderson, and you hit Henderson. Ooh, oh!
Yeah. You're like, oh.
Hey!
Oh,
Why'd you do that? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, we think about things on a different way, differently than most people.
At this point.
Yeah, just a special way. I was going to ask you, Brandon, about the cave systems and the missing 411 and cryptids connected to caves and stuff, because you mentioned like all the caves through Indonesia, right? Like you go into Vietnam and you've got the massive cave system over there with its own ecosystem. There's stories about, you know, Admiral Byrd being down in Atlantis, in Antarctica, and finding its own ecosystem with inside a caving system, essentially. And we've got theories that the Yowies in Australia use the caves and that sort of stuff. There's caves aplenty through New Zealand, which are used by all sorts of different entities and that sort of stuff. So I was just going to ask you, what are your theories on cryptids in caves, or missing 411 in caves, or cryptids hanging out with people in caves?
What's up, buddy? The name's Bubba.
You're my bitch tonight.
Oh God.
Don't worry, I'll take care of you. You're mine. My human. I do believe a lot of the was it 411 you said?
The missing 411, like
411, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that doco, but yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I've heard these through the stories from the book, and then I haven't had time to read said books. I've been, again, all my stuff goes all over the place, so sometimes they'll cycle back and I'll be like, aha, I remember this with this, and I had
Depends
no
on what you're on at
whatsoever.
The time. Yeah. For sure.
I think what I've been hearing is a lot of the underground bases with the military that they've been building. I think it's almost facilitating for them. I noticed the biggest thing with FDR, again, Teddy Roosevelt, not FDR. Teddy Roosevelt opened up a lot of the national parks, and he did hear of a story of an individual who had an encounter with a Bigfoot-like creature. Now, my theory is that maybe there was a treaty signed with a lot of the cryptids, and basically it being anything that goes through these lands is technically yours to have food, whatever you want. And this would explain the 411 cases, stuff like that, because it's all in national parks 90+% of the time. And it's just like, yeah. And it's kind of like you with the Australian outback. It's like, it's giant country. It's open, like open season, right?
Yeah.
And we really don't know too much about it. It's like the depths of our ocean at a certain point. It's like, how much do we really know what's down there? And that's what I lean towards. It's almost like a reservation for cryptids. And while we say we're preserving nature, well, they took away like what 80-something+% of the whatever was left, and now Trump's signing stuff that's taking away a lot of the last of what was of nature. And secondly, he really reduced a lot of the national parks service members, the park rangers. He got rid of all of them. And I was like, very convenient timing, I dare say, good sir. Is that part of a contract treaty that you made with certain entities?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I speculate there's something more that meets the eye there.
Yeah, and honestly, some of the stories that come out from those rangers, isn't it? You know, just the horrifying stories and the things that they've seen, and that, you know, they're made to sign disclaimers. You know, you cannot say what you've seen up here, and, you know, all this other kind of stuff. So, yeah.
It's like, I just want to come out here and enjoy nature, and then I'm seeing some of these stories, or you're going on one of those hunts to find somebody, and you're just like, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. You got to sign an NDA before you leave, huh?
Yeah.
Before you retire, you can't talk about this stuff. Why? Shouldn't everybody be willing to? No, no. You know
Yeah,
what? I'll
because
look
like,
at
is
the
it
no.
in California or something where you're not allowed to go and walk into the bush and stuff anymore because it's fire season? So they're not allowed, even people that literally live on the, you know, their backyard is the woods and all the bright, they're not allowed to go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing that in Canada too and stuff like that. Like you can't go out in the woods, and it's like, are you
Why?
telling me I know at a certain point it's like this doesn't make sense. I've been able to do it literally for decades. Why all of a sudden, 21st century, you're telling me I can't do that unless
Yeah.
I'll incur a fine? Is there
Yeah.
something going on that you don't want us to know?
That's exactly, you know, why are you stopping people going into the, you know, I think, God, if they tried to bring that into New Zealand, people are like, fuck you, mate, we're going
They
to the
are.
bush.
Yeah,
You go
yeah.
bush,
So
yeah.
so they did try and bring in like a around where I live, we've got the beach, which is essentially like not beach, it's basically just a drop off into the Pacific Ocean, right? And so they were trying to cut off the access all the way around where all the hunters go and fishing and diving and all that sort of stuff, right? And we go and get crayfish and paua and all the you know, kai moana, food from the ocean. And they were trying to cut it off because the four-wheel drives were going up onto Māori land, just up a little bit so they could get around the shitty pathway that the council hadn't bothered to fix, right? So they were like, oh, well, we're just going to cut the whole thing off because blah, 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 blah. And you just see the comments, oh, sure, put a gate.
That's going to stop us.
That's not going to do jack shit of anything. Put a gate up. That's fine. We're still fucking going. Like, in what world is that going to stop anything or anyone from doing it? And it shouldn't be. That's the one thing in New Zealand is that we have Māori iwis or tribes in place that have guardianship over the land. And that's what it's meant. That's one of the really great things about New Zealand is that they have some form of control over the land, which in turn the government or the crown can't just come in and sell it, can't come in and cut it off. They can't come in and do whatever without consulting the iwi or the tribes first, right? And that's a really, really good thing until you've got assholes like that who are like, oh, well, you can't be on our land anyway, and da 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 da. And it's like, well, that's not your land. It's for everyone. And your constitution says that you have to maintain open season, essentially, you know, open pathways for everyone to get there. And so, yeah, I would love to see the outcome of, you know, the government trying to say it's for your own safety, because that's what they're doing, right? It's for your own safety and for the safety of all of our rescue teams to have to come and find you if you go out at nighttime. Marie Dumont, who I did a interview with the other day, she runs the Florida Bigfoot Research Group. And she was like, oh yeah, and they tried to do this whole you can't go out at nighttime. She's like, that's the best time to find them. And so she was like, of course I'm going out. What are you talking about? But she was like, it's a $500 fine if you go out at nighttime. But I was just like, that's ridiculous. You're camping. You should be able to go and do whatever you want to do. That's why you pay taxes for, you know, for this privilege of people coming to find you when you get lost and you screw up.
Right. Because I'm giving them job security if I get lost. Deal 100%. With it.
Yeah, I'm keeping them in a job. Don't worry. I will
also
get lost.
The men in black if I get eaten by a cryptid.
Just trying to keep everyone going.
Keeping the economy going, people. Jesus, what's your problem?
Have you never heard of natural selection? Duh. I'm just doing my part.
Hey, so talking about then like national parks and that sort of stuff, what about the Grand Canyon?
Okay, so that's what I find really interesting because allegedly they found a lot of giant bones there.
Yeah, give us the rundown,
like
because like we only get small snippets of bits and pieces, and I find the Grand Canyon fascinating, man.
Because I know there's a huge part of it that is controlled by the military. Is that right? And the government?
And they've closed off a particular area again that was known for a lot of big giant bones, and they just kind of concealed it. And as well, what I find very interesting is that allegedly there's a lot of big caverns and caves on the side of the Grand Canyon that they won't let tourists go towards. Again, another red flag is like, well, if it's safe and there's nothing wrong with it, why can't I go and look at it? Hence, I am paying tourist money to come and do this. No, you can't go over here for your safety. I don't believe you. It's like,
Nah.
I I think the reason they put up a lot of the, what do you call it, the restrictions, like I know they got a fence thing over there, but they have closed off that particular area once that started gaining a lot of traction. I read about 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember where, but
are you talking about the cave on the side of the river that the gentleman back in
some
the
lady found it, is from what
Mm.
I was recalling, and she was trying, she's trying to like, this is the find of it, and they're over here like, no, nobody can go here now.
Oh,
But
wow.
why? If that's like a really cool find, it's just like, yeah, no,
Yep.
now nobody can go over here
Yeah,
because
well,
it's a
they've
Nazi.
found like hieroglyphs and Egyptian bits and pieces and all that sort of stuff back in the like 1920s or 30s or whatever, when the river was a little bit different, and they were actually able to climb up into this cavern, and took a group of guys down there and found a bucket load of like statues and things like that and hieroglyphs on the inside the cavern wall. And that was when I first found out about the Grand Canyon, and I was like, oh, okay, so that was the first thing that they've cut off. I had never heard about the giant bones, but yeah, understandable. Totally get that. We have giant bones in New Zealand and Australia as well, and they're ushered away very, very quickly. And I also listened to or watched a video or something about some Indigenous folk there that had a portal in the Grand Canyon, and took one of his mates, one of the white guys that was part of like his friendship group, and showed him the portal, and basically took him into this site in the Grand Canyon and went, this is where the portal is, and walked on through, and he went through this other city. So yeah, wild. But he was blindfolded. He was like on a horse ride for about an hour or an hour and a half or something somewhere. He was like, I have to blindfold you. Can't see where we're going. Da 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 da. And so went through with this with his mate who was part of one of the tribes there, and then put it back on and left. And he was like, and I can't find it, and I really want to find it, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, wild.
I'm telling you, there's something, and I almost wonder if like the movies like Journey to the Center of the Earth,
Sure.
Yeah.
if there's a little something there, because again, tunnel systems, caves, the Atlantis
Whole new
story,
world. Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
or even what's her face, Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
falls
Sure.
down this giant
Yeah,
pit, comes
down
into
the
this whole
hole.
world that's down below.
Whole bunch
I
of
mean,
weird things and cryptids.
literally, a
cryptids,
lot
yeah.
of it is cryptids. And again, you look
Yeah.
into the author, again, the guy that messed with kids, probably was high as hell. Look up the Don't Come Around Here No More with what's his face, that creepy Tom Petty.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
If that's not an MK Ultra music video, I mean, seriously, black and white floor, high as heck, messing around
Puff
with
the
a
Magic
girl, like,
Dragon.
eating kids at the end of it like a cake.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I was watching it going, when this is a really creepy video, guys. Like, yeah. But again, it's stuff like that. It's just like, I can't just laugh off and say that these things are like portals. Again, Doctor Strange opening portals to a different universe, multi-universe thing. I think there's another cryptid story that I heard where this individual, like 6 fingers, opened up a portal and stuff like that. And this gal was like, they're walking with her dog, and she's over here freaking out. And the thing was offering, hey, you want to come through, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I don't want to do this. She tries to run out and stuff like that. But she was seeing a UFO in the air. She saw that. And I was over here going, UFO plus portal. I heard another story where the guy saw a UFO and he saw a Bigfoot. I said, well, either you're high on shrooms or there is a connection here. What if the UFOs are acting as visiting hours between the fallen angels and their kids, cryptids? Right? And whatever government is giving them the means to facilitate that will grant you other technologies and whatnot. And this is why the Nazis would work with them. This is why America would now work with them.
Yeah.
Hence the Men in Black came after World War II and stuff like that. I don't know. But it's like, maybe there's something with that technology that they're over here. Again, probing. Why are you probing? We want to see what's possible to do with human antennas.
Yeah.
We're going to need to extract some DNA and do some tinkering around and see what we can find,
Only on boys, Brandon. You know that, eh? Women don't get anally probed.
What?
Oh, fuck. He's just found that out.
No, I wasn't sure I heard correctly. I just was asking.
No, women don't get probed. No, it's only a boy thing. Just so you know.
Lovely.
They just go in the other way and take away eggs and children.
It's a giant needle in through the belly button, and okay, that's fine, but at least we're not getting it up the ass.
Aliens are definitely gay, and I heard it here first.
You hear it here first. He's like, I'm gonna have a really bad dream.
Okay.
Mate, you just lost all respect. No anesthesia.
Oh my God.
Never going to believe.
What
Yeah,
are we
we're
going to
pretty
talk about
safe.
tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Now, who did we find that out from? Was that Joe? That was so funny.
No. We actually had a conversation with the Shores.
Oh, Leslie
and Stephen Shaw, who are generational abductees, and pretty crazy interview and amazing story, and traumatic, like really upsetting on so many different levels. But yeah, she told us, she was like, don't worry girls, you're safe. Safe from that. I was like, oh,
you'll get other stuff, but you ain't gonna get that.
You're spared, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then my next question to you, good sir, is what about CERN? So we're on the portal kind of space. What are your thoughts around CERN? What do we need to know about CERN? Because I'm concerned, right? CERN concerns me
CERN
on so many levels. On their giant statue out the front, on their logo, on their opening dance. It was fucking weird. And the fact that they've opened hundreds, if not thousands, of portals now, and know of 18 different dimensions and whatever else. And there's lots of stories of creatures coming out of portals that they have not been able to close. So I don't know. Give me your theory, your ideas on what you think CERN is about.
Honestly, I see it very similar to like the Mummy movies. You mustn't read from the book. That is kind of what I see them doing, is they're basically letting the parents come out. I think is basically what they're allowing, or CERN, demons, the spirits of those who were slain. They're now basically, like you say, orchestrating a family reunion. And a lot of these elites, aka what we call the lizard people, or fill in the blank again, believe it, don't believe it, whatever, whatever. Because we really don't know what goes on behind closed doors. All we could do is speculation, as you said. Clone. We don't know. Could be, couldn't be. I don't know. But I think that's honestly what they're doing, is that right now they're putting their people in play. And again, cryptid wise, I think that's kind of what they're doing as they're opening these portals all over the place. And these ceremonies, again, they require energy. Same thing with psyops. They need the reaction. They need the fear. When they have an arena, they need to have you all viewing. Same thing with 9/11. We need all that energy going into these black mirror tubes.
Fear and
right?
that horror. Yeah.
Right. And I think that is a huge element at play that a lot of people, I don't think, quite understand, is that even though you're thinking, well, I'm not watching it for those reasons, you're still extending energy towards that with your eyes. Again, I see all seeing AI and I. You're contributing to that. This is why I'll only watch the highlight reels that somebody else does, because it's like, I don't have time for the news. I literally feel nauseous when I hear somebody watching their news. I'm just like, do you have to play that? And that's, I think, by design, because it is demonic. It's a thing to make you not think, or to make you fearful. And I think honestly that's what they're doing with CERN, is they're releasing the horned ones out on society. I'm not sure if that answers your question in its entirety, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. That's whoa, doors opening. That's why I have the doors.
Chloroform. It works wonders.
Open.
This episode is brought to you by chloroform.
and she's gone. That was probably the CERN conversation.
Don't worry, she won't be probed, people. She won't be probed.
The monsters under your bed. Stay on your bed and they won't come out. All right, now I continue the show.
Oh my God. It's like nightmare fuel, eh? Oh God. Like one of our guests once said to one of our YouTube comments, he goes, I used to have a hand. There was a hand that would come up underneath the bed. And one day I grabbed it and I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? And he was like, it wasn't scary. I was like, it's literally like a disembodied hand from under your bed.
Because it happens so often to him, he was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, dude, you need help.
There's something wrong under your bed. You need to not.
He's like,
Hi.
what are you doing?
They're like, I was just looking for my food. Like, where's my snacks? Somebody grabs me. Oh,
There's something out of my bed. Oh, that's freaking.
This
But
thing, the
yeah.
new rule books.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
No, CERN does my head in, and I think you're bang on. I think the family reunion theory is actually
really interesting. Yeah.
really close to probably what is happening, especially like if you go into like all of the prophecies and that sort of stuff through the Bible and other prophecies that people have made with end of times coming and that sort of stuff. We're definitely kind of starting to shift down that track as far as like the prophecies say, but also, you know, having those kind of demonic entities or the parents coming back for their babies, which we are eating on our dinner every night, which probably
Yeah, it just it really makes you stop to think. Is like, you know what? They kind of do have jurisdiction because they're like, you literally part of me is in you because you are what you eat. Yeah, quite literally, and you're also eating each other. So what's your problem here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I don't
That's real
know.
dark, man. It's a dark hole to go down, eh? Wah.
And here I am, just everyone's saying, why is the ocean so salty? And they're like, whale jizz.
Oh,
Whale jizz, is that the answer?
stop. And I thought Sasquatch splooge was a phrase.
It's like
Gosh.
gallons. It is gallons when they jizz. And I'm just like, oh, okay, good to know.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's
I'd
why there's
rather
so
go
much
for the
drama
boat.
about the ocean. It's like, never mind the sharks. You just took a gulp of freaking whale sperm.
You are what you eat.
It's like, yes, you've had caviar.
And you two are now eating babies.
Oh God. Wow,
So
that's
messed
so
up.
gross.
Well, I mean, there's probably that too. It's probably that too.
They're all the dead
Good
people.
gracious. Oh, it's
No,
messed up.
I cracked up. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna go in the ocean again.
I mean, how
Oh,
come we don't
wow.
see that on National Geographic?
No. Yeah, but also
There was a guy.
the theory of the Loch Ness monster. Have you heard that theory? Oh, come on, Brandon,
I'm
you're
almost
so far behind the 8 ball here, buddy.
I'm
The
afraid.
theory of the Loch Ness monster with the you know, his head sticking out of, you know, the old picture 1960s or whenever
And it comes up and it's like this,
That
right?
was it.
it's a whale's
Schlong.
schlong.
Because
And the
if you
whale just-
actually go onto YouTube, I know this is bad, go onto YouTube and basically look up whale penises, and then it actually shows them because they'll roll over it, and these things will come out of the water by about 1 meter, 2 meters long, and they just hang.
So maybe, and people have, you know, superimposed it and gone, oh wow, yeah, okay.
Actually looks the same.
Wait, so you're telling me Nessie is a dick pic?
Pretty much.
This is messed up.
So it's blurry.
Ah! We didn't have encryption then. Oh, this is messed up. Wait, that's merch though. The
Learning
original.
something new today too. A couple of things.
Well, yeah. That's messed up.
We'd like to apologize, Brandon. Did you think this was going to be professional?
Well, no, honestly, I didn't.
We bang on.
This is entertaining. I will say that. Gross, but entertaining.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll just feed into the theory, and now you can go down that little rabbit hole and come and report back and let us know what you think.
It's like, it's like, just imagine what my handler's thinking. You're not gonna believe this. What? He's looking up whale dick pics. Huh?
Yeah. And now the algorithm's fucked. And all your what kind of
I've heard of interspecies, like, you know, creepy videos, but dude, what the hell?
Whale dicks everywhere.
It's for science. You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand.
It's like, oh yeah, I want that framed on my wall.
Wow. So we've taken a turn. We've taken a turn just to where we needed to be.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm somewhat glad no one joined us today because I don't know that they would have stuck around.
Where questionable statements are being made on this program, I'm going to have to report you.
And we don't know that this is going to make it to YouTube, but probably not. We'll see how we go. Young Brandon, you are amazing. Thank you so much for your time. We know that you're battling sickness and you've really kind of battled that one out today. You soldiered on. We appreciate it because we got to the good stuff right at the end.
I don't know about good stuff, but yeah.
Brandon, tell everyone where we can find you, please. How do we get in contact with you and how do we follow and all that good stuff?
Where to find me on a cryptid show? Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, you can find me, Mana, that's 2 N's, Mana Daily Podcast, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, and if you can, Patreon. And then for Instagram, it is Krollology, Kroll-ology, _101. If you can find me, it'd probably be best if you guys put the link because a lot of times they block that out when people try to search me up. So, and yeah, that's where you can find me on all my stuff. And thanks for having me on. I had a blast.
Yeah, we did too. Yeah, like we've learned, again, we've learned so much today. And like, I know Lisa and I will be getting together going, all right, we need to now go and do this.
Yeah. Honestly, these conversations just spur on so many different ideas for us to like then cover in topics or deep dives or go on expeditions or whatever. We've got Egypt booked for November next year, which is really exciting. So who knows? Maybe we'll go and live out that theory. We'll go and stand in front of the Giza pyramids and be like, this is where it's gonna
Yeah.
We're having a premonition. It might happen right about here.
Something's going on. We'll live stream it too. We'll be like, Brandon,
if it's right. If it
does,
I'll take royalties.
Yeah. Brandon told us this was going to happen.
Yeah, and now we owe him thousands.
Allegedly. I'm not making any diehard predictions. I just like speculating because they show maybe that
Yeah,
it's so interesting.
That kind of pops up. You're like, okay, yeah.
No, it's so interesting. I have taken numerous notes. See those, but numerous notes. And I'll definitely be going back over everything that we talked about.
Flip us off?
What?
You just saw blurs. Oh, go on.
But and just like that.
Two blurry little fingers, basically. Like actually something that popped into my head earlier on, and I didn't say anything because the conversation followed. You know how we were talking about how all the women are all really changing and got these long creepy little fingers? They actually look like grey alien fingers.
They do.
Just the little, they talk about witches and like the little long grey. Yeah, I was like, maybe the aliens. But that's all right. But anyway,
there's something else to talk about.
Yeah, they're not witches, but yeah.
Brandon, we will definitely put your links in the show notes, and thank you so much. And I feel a second adventure coming on with all of us together, and definitely some more conversation going if you're keen to come and hang with us again.
Totes.
So cool. And I will send you that demon picture from Egypt.
Demon picture, whale dick. I mean, seriously, you're getting so much information about me right now. Like, I think it's time. I think this is grounds for putting him away. What do you think?
Yeah. And he's gone. We'll be like, shit, sorry, everyone.
And they're going to look up my record and gonna be like, take him away. He's in the dark. Yeah, go ahead.
He's connecting with those Kiwi guys. Oh, yeah, this is it.
Yeah. One time.
One time. It only took once. Sorry, Brandon. We love you, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. You are the best. We'll definitely stay in touch. If you want to go and catch up with Brandon, please do go and support him. Go and jump over onto Patreon as well. Support him there because we all do this out of the goodness of our own heart and most of the time out of our own pockets. So the more money that comes into this ecosystem, the better everything is and the more we get to do all the fun stuff like what we do. And like what you do, Brandon, as well. And thank you so much for giving us your time. You are a fantastic guest.
I had so much fun.
and super fun. And we'll definitely stay in touch and do this again very soon, I'm sure.
Awesome. Well, I look
All
forward
right,
to it.
see y'all
See ya,
later,
bye.
everyone. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.